I have a political panel now, and Matt Klink, who's a Republican strategist, and Dean Obadallah, who's a SiriusXM host and joins us all the time as well. Let's see, Matt, you want to start us off on that, just on that theme about, and I'm sure Dean may see it differently, which is fine, but I just think that this is, people don't, haven't talked enough about it. The idea that the Biden administration and the Democrats were perceived, true or not, probably was true, but perceived as being so anti-business with all the regulation that a lot of these folks that used to be Democrats are now sitting in that room cheering the president.
Well, they were certainly anti-crypto, and I think that they drove a lot of people who were inclined to be Democrats away just because the Biden and Harris administration had ultimate hostility toward individuals engaged there. I think the thing for me, and look, all of this is rather, above my head. I'm a political consultant. I'm not a crypto trader. I'm not involved in the industry. But what they did say consistently was that Donald Trump is moving at tech speed, which means that he's quick, he's thinking ahead, which kind of describes the last 6 weeks of the Trump administration. And it's a classic example of another area where he's pushing the boundaries that will hopefully yield fruit in the long run.
Well, he's not going to kill them with regulation and or what they would perceive as prosecutions that are unfair. And I covered the Sam Bankman-Fried trial, and that guy did a lot of stuff that he seemed like he should have been going to jail for, right? So there's a lot of stuff that goes wrong in a lot of industries. But Dean, I think that it's not overly complicated. Trump looked at this and goes, "Oh, here's an opportunity," and now he jumped on board. And I think Democrats lost an opportunity. Maybe, do you see it differently?
Look, I mean, Donald Trump talked about bringing America into the golden age, and in reality, it's the gilded age. He's surrounded by billionaires and millionaires at that meeting. The Van Winklevoss twins gave him $2 million. Other people at that meeting gave him millions and millions of dollars. Elon Musk has hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin. This is to make the rich richer. This is not for the average working class person who are being hurt by Trump's tariffs and higher inflation and unemployment and consumer sentiment's down. None of this is for the rest of Americans. This is for the upper crust, for the wealthy. It's like a country club meeting. I find it distasteful. Not crypto. People want to invest in that. Do your research. You got a convicted felon like Donald Trump telling you invest in it. Do your research, please. But if you think you're going to make money on it, go ahead. That's God will you. God love you. But for the rest of the working class Americans who are struggling right now, and they are, this is not for them. This is for the wealthy.
Yeah, I can see how you say that. I think the other side is that I think it's more than crypto, though, right? It's like, artificial intelligence and just emerging industries in general. Like Kelly Loeffler was talking about it and Matt, pick up on this. This is the idea that there was a war on innovation, which sounds like, aggressive language, right? But again, it goes back to that same idea. They just think that people were out to kill their businesses, which employ people, right, at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Look, what you just heard was the typical Democratic response to everything that Trump's doing is if Trump's supporting it, it must be bad. I mean, the bottom line is that the last 4 years were veritable hell on Americans. It was business unfriendly. The economy that Donald Trump has right now is not even really his economy. He's tinkering around the edges. Mm-hmm. He ultimately needs Congress to enact his reconciliation package, move the extension of the Trump tax cuts forward. Well, that's the economy supercharged. But again, all the Democrats have right now is, oh, Trump's for it, orange man bad, we hate it.
No, my point is that it is sort of that, is that, you can't assume if you're on one side that everything that one person says is bad because he says it. But also, I wouldn't discount the fact that Trump, by the way, has other economic concerns of his own, some of his own creation, the tariffs, for example, which, are going to be and already are a political issue for him. I'm just saying on this particular issue, that's a little bit different. Regulation is basically the issue, I guess, politically. He seems to have the advantage. But, Dean, you would say, and this is what you were saying a moment ago, on other issues, the president there might be trouble coming politically on the economy.
Well, right. I'm not against the idea of doing this kind of facade of regulations of crypto because only about 20% of Americans invest in it. So others, I just say do your research. So I'm not against the cryptocurrency and this idea. I'm talking about working class Americans suffering. Consumer sentiment is down. Consumer confidence is down. Unemployment's up. The stock market, which almost 2/3 of Americans now own some part of their 401k, IRA, or stock portfolio, are looking at their portfolios and they miss Joe Biden. That's the truth. Look at the idea that Trump's policies have not hurt the economy. It's just the idea of denying reality. The Federal Reserve and others said the economy was going to be strong in late December. Trump has changed it on his own in 2 months with uncertainty, if nothing else, Uncertainty scares investors. And
No, I
that's
agree
what
with
we're
you
living
on
through
the
right now.
uncertainty
I
part.
want the economy to be good.
And
I don't want a recession because it helps Democrats. I want a strong economy.
I just think they're two separate issues. But I agree with you on the last part in the uncertainty. We talk about it on the show every day. And Matt, to be fair to what Dean's saying, that's something that will catch up, I would think, with this president, if it's not already doing so politically. Market's up a little today, but this has been up and down week because people don't necessarily know what to expect.
Yeah, look, he's been in office for 45 days, maybe 46 if I'm off by one day. He hasn't had his chance to implement his economic plan. When he does, I think you'll see a lot of things settle back down. But until that happens, I think you're going to continue to see this turmoil. And that just is the simple reality. Look, we had for 4 years that, inflation was transitory. We're really not in a recession. We had the news media not even talking about egg prices for 4 months, and now all of a sudden they've discovered cartons of eggs more expensive.
I got to run here because we're going to have to borrow some from the Bitcoin Reserve. We don't take a commercial because we got to get paid for something. So we haven't in a while with all the live events. But it's an interesting discussion. All of it is. It all fits together, but it's not necessarily all one thing. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Dean.